Hello, 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 and welcome to the Connecting Point. I'm Dr. Marcy Simmons, and I'm glad to be here today on this platform with two beautiful young ladies here to inspire, share their ideas, to connect with others, and work towards changing the world through their creativity. And today we have with us Miss Kristen Joseph, who is a crochet artist. I bet you haven't heard of that, but she'll explain it to you shortly. And we have Pastor Diamond Blount, who is, yes, she's a pastor and she's a cosmetologist. And so I'm going to let them tell you a little more about themselves and what they do specifically. And it's important for our audience, ladies, to know your age, because we are actually targeting our young people so that they will understand the importance of being who they are, expressing themselves, and using their creativity at a young age, starting at a young age, so that it can develop and cultivate into something that, yes, it can generate funds for you, but it also is a part of making you happy, okay, if you're working on your passion. So we're going to get more into that as well. I'll start with Kristen, introducing you to Diamond. I think y'all went to the same high school, am I?
Yeah.
Y'all went to the same high school. That's actually. So they went to the same high school. I don't know how connected you were at Carver School of the Arts, but you can talk about that later. Kristen, will you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and where you are now?
Well, my name is Kristen Joseph, but my creative name is Rise Queen. I am from Washington, D.C., and currently in Athens, going to school at UGA. I consider myself a crochet artist because, well, a lot of crocheters consider themselves artists nowadays because it truly is an art form. It takes a lot of learning and a lot of practice to master. So that's why I guess I go by crochet artist.
Okay. Diamond?
Hi, you guys. My name is Diamond Blount. I am 24 years old. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and that is where I reside. I am a graduate of Atlanta Metropolitan State with an associate's in business and administration, and I'm also a current student at the same school to get a bachelor's in business. I am a pastor of New Creations Deliverance Ministries in Riverdale, Georgia, and I am a cosmetologist. I am the founder and the owner of Pink Diamonds Beauty, located here in Atlanta, Georgia, in the West End area. What inspired me to be a cosmetologist was my obsession with beauty. And just not just on the outside, but on the inside. My motto here is faith and beauty. I believe that faith is something that we all must have, and beauty is something that represents you from the inside out. And being a pastor, it kind of made room for my gift. My gift made room for me. I'm able to reach out to different people, all ethnicities, age group, and I'm able to encourage them not only to help them look beautiful, but make them feel beautiful. And that has always been my passion.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. And knowing you, I have always seen her together. She has been together, that hair, that nail, and you don't have on makeup today, but you're still together. I can tell you are still together. A woman after my own heart. I try to stay together. Sometimes it doesn't work, but I try to stay together. But I want to start off by each one of you, and we'll go one at a time, kind of explaining how you got to where you are now, using your creative gifts. When did you, and I ask this in all of my shows because I think this is very important, when did you discover that you had a creative side and that you could use those, your creativity to impact others. Kristen, you want to start?
I think all of my life I've like been a creator. Even at a young age, I wrote short stories. I love to write poetry and everything. But I started off before I learned how to crochet as a knitter, and that just was taught to me by like an auntie of mine, and I really just was drawn to it. I think because it kind of gave me opportunity to just express myself first, but also like have time with myself and learn patience. Although knitting is cool, I tell everybody like I don't like the whole two needle thing. So that's what kind of pushed me towards crochet, because crochet is you just use one needle, and in my opinion, it's a lot faster. So that's what kind of pushed me towards crochet. Um, I don't think I knew I was a creator until maybe like my early, or not early, my late teenage years, like when I was 17 or 18, because my mindset was so driven towards like I guess um, getting a degree and having a career and retiring from a career. I didn't really explore the idea of like having my own business or making things for myself until like my late teenage years, when I was going into college and even leaving high school. I was just like, yeah, I don't think I want to sit behind a desk all day. I don't think I want to, like, I don't know. I just didn't want to do that. But I did see myself wanting to create and make my creations better so that I can put them out there and kind of leave my stamp, I guess, when I am gone. What was the other question? I feel like I didn't
Well,
answer one.
I mean, you did good with that. I
Okay.
kind of, it's just telling us where you started and how did you discover, when did you discover you had this creative side that you could impact the world with, Diamond?
Well, for me, I was always the oddball child. Like when I was younger, I used to sing. I used to like going outside and creating like little mud pies, and I always had a big imagination. And I think by the time I turned 13, I kind of realized that I was different. I was always the child that would go to school colorful, like everything from my shirt to my pants to my shoes, everything had to have some type of color and coordinate and match in there. And that's just how I expressed who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And with music, I used to write music all the time, sing, whether it was in church, on the bus, in the grocery store, at school. And I was always the one who was not shy. Like if anybody else say, I'll be like, I can sing. And they be like, well, sing. I'll bust out and sing. It was no hesitation. But I realized a lot of my friends, they were shy or had some type of stage fright. With me, I was just like, I'm all for it. I don't have nothing to lose. And I think going towards high school, when I was into my music and everything, I began to develop this style. And a lot of people couldn't really do the style like how I could. And so I learned how to do makeup and I learned how to do hair. And then also I was raised with a lot of cousins, so we wasn't fortunate enough to go to the hair salon every 2 weeks or, get my makeup done. Things were spent on like school supplies and necessities that we really needed. But when I would go out and perform, I wanted to look,
Presentable.
like,
Yeah,
I wanted to look presentable. I wanted to look like, the star. And so I began to look at YouTube tutorials, and I just did it. And that has always been something for me. If somebody can just show it to me one time, I can look and learn quickly. And that's when I noticed that I was actually a creator, because that's a strength that a lot of people don't have. Just look at something, and learn how to do it. And that's with anything that I do, whether it's with speaking engagements, whether it's, sewing clothes or anything like that, I pick up really easily. And I never could fit in. That was a hard thing for me, trying to fit in with, people in the crowds. And that's when I realized, like, yeah, you're a little different, but that's okay. you know, and that was a struggle for me as well because I didn't understand, you know, when you're young, you don't understand. People call you weird and all that stuff. No, not weird. I'm just chosen. I'm a
You think
creative.
differently.
You
You
know,
see differently, you know, and that's
yes,
all the young people that I've worked with over the years. I try to encourage them that if you feel different, it's because you are. And
yes,
there is nothing wrong with being different. God made us all different for a reason.
yes,
And so I'm hearing really both of you are visual type learners.
Mhm.
mm,
You learn
Yeah.
visually and you work with your hands. So your smart type has a lot to do with your vision of things you see. You like working with your hands. Even though
right,
it's two different mediums, Kristen, you're crocheting. Diamond is cosmetologist. But I'm glad you mentioned, Diamond, that you sing too, because that's a connection I want to talk about as well. But you're both working with your hands, but it's just in a different way. Now, can you tell
mm,
me who inspired you the most? When you think about, you know, growing up, who was your role model or who inspired you to just step out and you know, attack your creativity head on? You know, no holds barred. Just who inspired you to do it? Kristen, you can start.
Um, I think for me, it really was a lot of what I saw on TV, like the women that I saw on TV. I really was inspired by just their beauty more than anything, the effortlessness I feel like of their beauty and just the way like movies or music or like even live performances, those the way they would make me feel, I would feel like, man, like that's so cool. Like I want to be like that, you know, like I want to like I don't know how to explain it, but that is what more so inspired me to kind of like be myself or kind of develop my own style just because I've seen like so many different versions of what a woman could be
Mhm.
growing up. So
Wow.
I think that's mostly what inspired me. Yeah.
Okay, Diamond, who or what inspired you?
Well, who inspired me? I would say my mom.
Uh-huh.
When I was younger, I used to like be that creepy little child, and my mom would be getting ready to go somewhere, and I'd be just like in the bathroom, peeping behind the door, watching her do her makeup and you know do her hair. My grandmother also inspired me because my grandmother is such a hard worker. Like she works, her work ethic is amazing, even still up to now. But my family had a big inspiration on me. They always encouraged me, even if it was, you know, just that, you know, go ahead and do it and you know, we got your back. It was just that verbal support, the emotional support that helped push me into where I am now.
Okay. Now, let me ask this. Where do you see yourself in, let's say, 5 or 10 years from now with your gifts that you have, your creativity? How are you going to use that 5 to 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself? Kristen, we'll start with you. You to get.
Right. um, I personally want to see like myself have a couple different stores, whether it be like yarn and craft stores, or I'm really into like fashion, so maybe a few different fashion stores. I also see myself like teaching other people because I feel like when you have a craft, you should definitely teach other people because that allows them to do things for themselves. So I definitely want to like teach people how to knit, teach people how to crochet, or teach people how to open a business if they have any like have no idea where to start because I'm kind of right there in the stages too of like figuring it out and trying to, you know, learn the best way to go about it. So when I get that information, I just want to help other people and use that to grow into like independence and not have to really, like I said before, like work for anybody, but make my gifts, I guess, my work and work for me.
Mhm. Okay, Diamond.
Um, for me, 5 to 10 years, well, I do not see myself being behind the chair in the next 5 to 10 years. Um, I've been doing hair now for 11 years, so I do see
Wow.
myself. and expanding. I see me having a salon, helping and training other people to open their businesses, and if they just want to do hair, showing them different ways to make revenues within the beauty business. I also see myself being more attentive to the millennium generation by hosting empowerment events, spreading the word and the love of God. Amen. Just bringing, our millennial, our generation back together. And because that's something what I'm already starting to do now, hosting conferences and stuff like that, and just being, very transparent and hearing out the youth rather than, just going at them and trying to build with the Bible, but just actually hearing what they have to say and being that, that outlet and being that person that can help lead them and advise them into doing better. Because a lot of people have labeled our generation as the lost generation, and I totally dismantle that, and I don't agree. I just feel like we have a lot of headstrong people in our generation. We have a lot of entrepreneurs and things like that, and they just need the right guidance.
That's it.
Yes. And through my experience with opening business, through my struggles and still pushing through, and God, He literally built me up, tore me down so that I can rekindle my foundation the correct way. And I want to help others build their foundation on faith and trusting God rather than just going at it and thinking it's about the money and everything like that. Because money is nothing, but it's a necessity for certain things that you need, but that's not where your attention should be around.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you both this. What challenges have you had in trying to share your creativity with the world? Because I feel like young people need to know this. They don't have to start off perfect. We're all growing. Here I am. I'm 49 years old, and I'm still trying to grow and learn and understand how I can better use the gifts that I've been given. So what challenges as a young person that you've had that you can share with others?
I think for me, it's really like when I go on Instagram and I type in like crochet artist, it's rare that like a Black girl pops up. And that's so like, it's not like discouraging. It's kind of like encouraging, I guess, because I would like to be, like one of there are a few, but I would like to be one of the notable like crochet artists that are, I guess, in the industry right now. But I think just not, and also not having people like who are doing the same thing as me, because sometimes like I would like to go for advice or just to talk about like, anything related to crochet, but there aren't a lot of people who crochet, and finding communities online and things like that are of course always a resource, but I like more like personal relationships. So I think that's kind of been one of the challenges for me, and then also accepting the fact that, like you said, you don't have to be perfect to like post your items. You don't have to know the most like complicated things, I guess, in your craft to be able to present yourself. So I think just understanding that there's always space for you, and that there's going to continue to be space for you, and that you need to take up your space is something that I've had to learn like myself. And I know that can be kind of hard for other creatives.
Okay, yes. Diamond?
Well, challenges for me with my business, first of all, the hair industry is overly saturated. And you have a lot of people that go after the hype. They were, rather than quality and stuff. So and then by me being a pastor, like the vibe in my room, I listen to church music all day long, and they want to come in and feel like that city girl vibe, and it's just not me, and I'm okay with it because I can't deal with it. Financial challenges was most definitely a problem for me starting up my business, because when I first opened up my shop, I was actually spending more money rather than gaining money. But the longer I stayed consistent and just promote it and market my brand the way that I needed to, it worked out for me. And then like emotional challenges, when that, when you have your slow seasons, you get kind of disencouraged, or when you're not, able to do something the way you want it done, or if you, like she said, you get on social media, you have a lot of other stylists and you're like, oh, my work don't look as good as their work does, or, and you just start comparing things. And that's one of the things that I had to learn to stop doing, was comparing myself and my business to other people's business, because you don't know how long it took them to get to where they are. And, you're where you are for a reason. And when it's your time, to prosper in that season, and it's going to happen. So, just being strong emotionally and just having faith and moving forward. That was it for me, basically.
Now, let me ask you, you might have said it and I missed it, Diamond. How old were you when you opened your hair salon?
Well, when I opened my hair salon, I think I was 23. But I started doing hair when I was 13. And when I turned, I think I was either 18 or 19, I worked in my first salon, and I was a private contractor, just renting out booths.
You hear that, young people? 13. I mean, you can start whenever, and you do not have to be perfect. That I want to keep saying that, because so many people, and social media is to blame for a lot of it, because we look at it and we think, oh, I got to look this way. Even me, I had an issue with it too. I got to look a certain way, but now I've been this way. I just didn't realize it. I put on what I want to put on. Now I'm like Diamond. I got a match now. It has to be coordinated. But I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to have the style that I want. But so many young people struggle with trying to live up to the status quo, what they're seeing on social media. And it's just not going to work until you are true and authentic, and being who you are and who God created you to be. And I want to say this because it made a profound impact on me. This week, I think it was, last week, I was listening to Pastor E. Dewey Smith, and he talked about God knowing you before you were formed in your mother's womb. That means he knew you before you came into this world that we call world. Now, the way that he put you here, he already knew your purpose, what you were supposed to be doing, and it's up to you to follow that purpose. And if you get off of the track of your purpose, and then you try to enter heaven when it's time, he's going to say, I never knew you. He didn't know you because you are not the person that he knew when you were supposed to be here. So be who you have been created to be. Everybody's not going to agree with it. It could be even family members. I tell the children that I teach all the time, everybody's not going to understand why you are here. You understand why you're here. And guess what? They don't have to understand. As long as you have gotten your directives from God, go with it. And, so I want to do this. I want you to, if you have some works, examples of some things that you're working on or have already completed, to share with our listeners so that they can see, hey, I can do that. I know some girls right now in elementary school can braid some hair. Okay. They can braid and make them a few little dollars. So it's something you can do. I know some children right now can dance so well, they can make a video and start selling, choreography. So it's a lot that people can do. Kristen, did you bring some things to share with us, some examples of your crocheting art?
Yes, I did. So it is summertime right now, and even though COVID and everything is going around, what I like to make in the summer is like two-piece sets. And this set, I made this I think last summer, and I was gonna use it for a fashion show, but
Oh,
we'll get it in
wow. I
so
like that.
people can
That
see it.
is
Yeah,
nice.
Oh,
completely customizable. I try and make it for every. Ooh,
uh-oh, Kristen, you went away.
sorry, somebody called me. My bad, but I try and make it for like every body type. So no matter how big or
Well,
small
you
you
know what,
are.
Kristen, you didn't make that for my body type.
Well, it's the mannequin. The mannequin's like sample size, but that's something that I like to work on. But right now, I am customizing like because everybody's wearing masks and everything nowadays, so because of COVID. But I'm customizing masks, and I mean I can put it on if y'all want me to, but the lining on the inside will allow you to slip a filter inside and out of it, so you don't have to worry about, well, is that going to keep you safe? Because crochet does kind of have like
Holes.
smaller holes. So, but yeah, they're
But
definitely
you
will
can
have
probably
liners.
breathe better with a crochet mask. I
Probably,
know the
probably
cotton ones
so.
can get a little hot.
Right. Yep.
It does.
Oh, those are
Mhm.
wonderful, Kristen. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Diamond, what do you have to show us?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't have any clients today. But all of my work is tuned in on Instagram on my social
Okay.
media platforms. And hopefully we could probably tag it after the video.
Oh, yes,
Um,
yes.
yes,
But
ma'am.
listen, I've seen Diamond's work. You will not be disappointed.
Not at all.
Not at all. You will not be disappointed. She knows how to do the thing. You hear me? I've been trying to call her for some help with me.
Well,
But I am so very proud of you, young ladies, because I also always say that you don't have to punch a clock like the generation before you. Yes, you can't just, some of you want to step out on your dream, but you got to fund the dream. You can't just say, listen, I'm not going to work. I'm just going to do this. It takes money to make money. Okay.
that's true.
And some things I do want to say, you're going to have to give away. Okay. You can't go into business as a young person or as an older person thinking you're just going to make money. Your heart should be for people getting whatever the service is or product you have. If it's your passion, it's going to make money for you. If you're doing what you like to do and what God has instructed you to do with your creativity, it is going to make money. But you're going to have to give some things away. Okay?
Yeah.
You're going to give your time away. You're going to give product away. You're going to give service away, but you're going to have to give something away to make something. You don't just start off, on the top. You got to rise to the top. So as long as you remember that and to stay humble, because no one can get there by themselves. We cannot. And that is one reason I want to do this platform. We must connect.
Yes.
If your dream is in isolation, it did not come from God. You have to connect with other people. Now, you got to know the right people to connect with. And hopefully this platform will introduce some of the right people to you, because I don't just put people on this show. I've thought about it, prayed about it, and I know the people that are on here wouldn't mind connecting with you, inspiring you, sharing ideas with you, collaborating is what this is all about. So now, if you would like to share, I want each one of you to share one. Let's say one. I've said one word before. No, just share something that you can tell a young person today to inspire them to stick with expressing themselves through their creativity. Diamond, you wanna?
Yes, I can. Well, young people, generation, be your most authentic self. Be yourself. If you don't try to keep up with the Joneses with social media, if you cannot find a lane that fits you. You create your own lane.
Yeah.
Don't ever limit yourself to other people's dreams and goals. Follow your goals. I know that in the Bible it says that with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. That's something that stuck with me because people would tell me, "Oh, you're dreaming too big, and how you gonna do this and how you gonna do that." When God gives you a dream and God gives you a plan, you just go with it, you run with it, and He's going to lay out everything before you. With my business, when I opened up, everything flowed easily. It wasn't any hangups, it wasn't any discord, confusion. Everything just literally fell into place. So that's how you know when you're on the right track, because things will begin to fall in place. Things will begin to find favor in you. You have favor in anything, whether it's the loan people, whether it's the leasing office for your business. Favor will find you. And don't give up. Continue to be consistent. Don't be afraid to take risks, and don't be afraid of failure, because that's only going to give you a new blueprint for a new beginning so that you can move forward.
Amen. Amen.
Yes,
And
for
I
sure.
approve that
Sorry.
message.
I
Okay,
would
Kristen.
I would definitely say patience and consistency is like the number one thing. Out of everything that I've ever done, like I've been forced to be patient and my consistency level has always been tested. Like, and that's really the only way that you're going to get to whatever goal you have is if you're patient with yourself and if you continue to be consistent and believe in yourself as well. Like we were talking about earlier, you do not have to wait to start. Like you can literally start right now. And as you continue to build and grow, it's gonna build and grow with you. So don't feel like, well, I have to wait till this or wait till no. Start it now and be patient and consistent with it and believe in it 100% because like Diamond said, if God gave it to you, it's gonna happen. But
It's
you
gonna
have to put in
happen.
the work for it.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
right, and that's important. I'm glad Kristen said that. You're gonna have to work now. You
Yes.
can't just say I'm starting a business and then you think everything's just gonna lay out easily.
No.
Diamond she said that everything fell into place, but do know that she put the work in on the front end of it. She had
Faith
to
without
work.
works is dead.
It's not going to just lay in your lap. So everything worth having, you're going to have to work for it. Work is spiritual. If anybody tell you you don't have to work, they're telling you the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so understand you're going to have to put in the work. But along the way, you have people like Diamond, Kristen, myself, and many others will introduce you to as the weeks go by, who's willing to help you. Okay, so just keep that in mind as those as creators who are aspiring to transform the world through your creativity. Now, Kristen and Diamond, I want you to share with those out there a way that they can contact you. Okay, Kristen, you can go first.
Well, my crochet page is called Creations by Rise. So, creations by like literal the word creations by Rise. I know people tend to have a hard problem with Rise, so I'll spell that part out. It's RISE. And then my personal Instagram page is Rise Queen. So RISEQUEEN. I'm not really on Facebook that much, so if you want to find me,
They think Facebook, your generation thinks Facebook is for old people, but you know what? I don't care. I use it all. Okay, Diamond, would you let us know how we can contact you?
Both of my platforms, one is Instagram and via Facebook. On Instagram, you can find me at _pink diamonds, and that is _pink with 2 I's and diamonds with a Z at the end. And my Facebook is Diamond Blount. That is DIAMOND Blount BLOUNT.
Okay. And if you would like to be on a platform like this yourself, or you can't reach one of these ladies, I know how to reach them. You can also contact me through integrativeartscreations.com, or you may email me at integrativearts@att.net. I will spell it out, INTEGRATIVE arts@att.net. Ladies, thank you so much for joining the Connecting Point. I see many connections between us. With arts integration, I keep saying that everybody has a connection somewhere. The body is very important to move together because we have some kind of connection. And I thank you so much for joining us, and have a very blessed week.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks,
thank
y'all.
you, thank you, thank you.